and music, set in motion.
All right, well, I just want to say welcome once again to Words and Music with Parlor Jones with my esteemed guest, Bill Parkison, also fondly referred to as Big Brother Bill.
Well, thank you very much, Parlor. Great to be here.
Yeah. So I said, he wanted to know what we're going to talk about today. I said, I don't know. This is a podcast. It's free form. It's off, just off and running, whatever. So if there's anything that's on your mind right away, I know you have, a vast storehouse of topics that you could talk about very, very efficiently, I'll say. So turn it over to you.
Going to turn over to me. Well, okay, this is what we're going to talk about today, is anything and everything music. First, I'd like to say we are going to start up a crowdfunding fund, so just keep your eye open for that. I'm only kidding. That's not what we're doing. I don't know what we're going to talk about. The last show you went ahead and talked about the guitars, the instruments. We could talk about your masterpiece over here, and then possibly what I'm trying to do, which Grok has affectionately called the Renaissance.
Ah.
I don't know how it came up with that, because I go by Renaissance wine.
That's right.
One of my accounts. And I should say my family is getting quite jealous of my relationship with Grok. It seems I spend more time with Grok than anyone else. But we have a mission and a summary and what we're doing bit by bit. And we came up with a playlist that ultimately I'd like to go ahead and play at the Jolly Gator.
Yeah. And
with you and the rest of the project. And it's a little ambitious considering my talent, but hey, you don't achieve, it's getting up there and doing it.
Exactly.
And then when you really mess up, everybody goes, "Hey, it sounded great. Don't worry." By that person that drink.
And not only that, whenever, including myself, if I screw up, I just laugh it off. I go, "It's a jam. It's a jam." And actually, I think people kind of like that part of it because they know we're human.
Well, that's one thing about music today. You turn around and we look at, you can't see it in the audience, obviously, but we've got what looks like NASA over here with all these monitors and the equipment and everything just all around us here. Music doesn't flow freely enough. Brian May of Queen has mentioned this recently in an interview where he thinks that we've become too educated music-wise. Someone like Slash is very, very proud of his Berkeley education. And even though Slash and Brian seem to get along well and they perform well together, Brian has never picked him out as being one of the people that he's influenced by, because the notes are exactly where his teachers taught him to play those notes. And he says it takes away from the human end, the part where you feel good. The Beatles did that with Your Blues.
Right.
They said they were in a studio the size of a closet, and they literally were hanging all over each other and playing that song, and they had to work as a band and I guess emotionally work together. And that's what Brian said. A lot of that's missing out of music because it's just, you go stand in your cubicle, listen, now play that bit, ding, 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 ding. Okay, play it back. How'd that sound? Okay, we got it in the mix.
Right.
And, back in the 70s, I jump around a lot, so bear with me. I was so into Elton John when that came out.
Yeah.
I mean, forget Elvis, forget the Stones or the Beatles. Elton was the guy. The only one that came close to him was Bowie.
I was going to guess at that.
I really, really got... there's nothing wrong with American rock and roll. I mean, our bands are great, but they still do follow sort of the blues template. Verse, chorus, bridge, then one, and then the middle eight and all. But it was the Europeans that went ahead and took it and just did something to it.
True.
That expanded it, and I started really, really getting into this. And the first time Goodbye Yellow Brick Road came out, Crocodile Rock's on that album. That was my first trip to Florida in 4th grade, and it was on the radio. You see an alligator, you see a crocodile.
Yeah.
That was it.
Right. Yeah.
But that's 22 songs on that album.
Yeah.
But Elton goes ahead. If he has to do more than three takes, he starts getting real you know,
Uppity.
Well, that's a polite way of saying it, I guess. But yeah, that's it. It's like, okay, that's fine, move on. Where he and Freddie Mercury are great friends. He'd say, look, you can do anything with 3 months in the studio.
Right.
Write it down, make it feel good, move on to the next one, get on with it. This is rock and roll.
Yeah. I want to just stay on that for 1 second, and that is the thing about David Bowie. There's not a lot of people that can cross over the width of he did like Bing Crosby, Freddie Mercury. I mean, you can't get much of a wider gap to cross over. And that one song, my all-time favorite version of God Only Knows. David Bowie's God Only Knows.
Really? What album's that off of?
I don't remember, actually.
I mean, I've got a beefy Bowie collection. And
I don't know, maybe it was never on. It had to have been on an album, but I mean, you know the song Beach Boys.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people have done it, but the orchestra arrangement in his version and the deepness of his voice.
Oh, the resonation. Robin Gibb is about the only one that could come close to that, I think.
I just watched a special on Robin Gibb just last night.
But you know, David Bowie's interesting. I was in, I think it was 5th grade, 6th grade at the time, and everybody's talking about Bowie, and this is when they re-released Space Oddity. Space Oddity came out in 1969. Okay, and ironically, when we're landing on the moon, supposedly.
That was when the world was flat, though.
That's when the world was still flat, yes. And NASA checked. But England actually played Space Oddity as they were showing the men landing on the moon. Although they didn't realize that it was about some guy getting stuck in space and floating away all by himself forever. Till Peter Schilling in the 80s came up with Major Tom and did an interesting take on it that Bowie
I've got to
loved.
see that. If you have a link to that. Yeah.
We'll play it, I guess, when we're done. Peter Schilling, it's a little... it's got that little techno wave to it. He gets from England, Germany, I mean, and he's basically telling the same story as Space Oddity. I mean, pretty much the same thing. And if it was here in the States, he would have gotten sued for it. But no, Bowie loved it. It was just different words, same type, same story, but it was, we'll watch it afterward. It's definitely good. But Bowie. Somebody my mother knew won 2nd place in a Bowie Look-alike contest. And I'm listening to this, who's this David Bowie guy? So I'm staying up late because David Bowie did the 1980 floor show for the midnight special. And everybody in the house is asleep and I'm up here. This is the year when Alice Cooper did Welcome to My Nightmare and had... took over the midnight special for that one. He had Vincent Price on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is just when it was time to watch midnight special. Bowie comes out and Ziggy Stardust out, and I'm like, where's this David Bowie guy gonna come? We got some girl who needs a bra and no eyebrows. When's Bowie coming on? And the next morning over breakfast, my mother's asking me, what's this David Bowie guy like? And I go, not quite sure yet. So we go to the record store. Okay, we lived in New Jersey at the time, small, about the size of your house. And it was just, records. And we picked up his Pinups album, which I highly recommend to you. It's all covers. You'll have The Who in there, The Kinks, you'll have, a bunch of songs in there. When you hear his take on it, he plays a saxophone in there. And he's got Mick Ronson playing guitar. He was with RCA at that time, I think.
Yeah.
And was it RCA? Yeah, I think when he came up to Station to Station, he ended up losing Mick Ronson because he changed record labels after Young Americans. But it's just an unbelievable amount of covers. People don't realize it.
Yeah, his style was amazing.
Yeah, Hunky Dory, just. What's interesting about Bowie, and I could go on forever about Bowie, the general consensus is Bowie knew what he was going to do 3 albums at a time. That they were always considered trilogies.
Yeah.
So you had Ziggy Stardust, you had Aladdin Sane, and then after Aladdin Sane, I think came Diamond Dogs. Then that was pretty much the end of the Ziggy period. And then came in his Philadelphia era, where a lot of English people were going to Philadelphia because of the sound. Elton John did Philadelphia Freedom there. Bowie ended up doing Young Americans and backup singers. One of them was Luther Vandross.
Really?
Yeah. So that brought into the more the disco funk thing. You heard a lot more of that getting into Station to Station, which I think is an opus. It's 12 minutes of nothing but sheer brilliance between David Bowie and his guitarist Carlos Alomar. And then it moves on from there. You get into Low, you get into Sound and Vision, and then when he came around to Let's Dance, he figured, I've never done a top 40 album, let's do it. And now he's doing all these, stadiums. He's looking around going, these people look like they should be going to a Phil Collins concert. What are they doing here? And then he says, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Playing to a bunch of people that should be dressed up for a Phil Collins concert.
Right.
But Klaus Vormann was German,
yeah,
who played bass and taught Paul how to play bass.
Really?
And like with all things with the Beatles, they brought their friends with them. Astrid, Stu's girlfriend, is the one that is given credit for all the great early Beatles pictures, the black and white ones.
Right.
And Klaus was part of the group. When you've got Derek Taylor, their press secretary, he was a high school buddy. Neil Aspinall was a high school buddy. Mal Evans was a high school buddy. So the road manager. So they really kept their friends close, which a lot of bands do, believe it or not.
Right, yeah.
And so anyway, Klaus did some work with John Lennon.
And George on his solo albums.
Well, Klaus actually...
I think he did.
Oh, Klaus played for everybody. I don't think he played with Paul, though. But he did some real genius work on one of John's songs. I don't know which one it is, because all he did was play open 4 strings and strum them like a chord for the whole song, and that's it. Everybody praised him as genius. I think it was something else, honestly. But he played on the Concert for Bangladesh.
Yeah.
And because when George Harrison is introducing everybody, it was said something like, many people have heard the name, but nobody's actually seen him, Mr. Klaus Vormann on bass, and everybody goes, ah!
Yeah.
So, Bowie's life changed a lot when he and Iman got together and really went heavy into the fashion. He got out of his Bowie mode, did Tin Machine for a while, which people love the album. I thought it was a little too heavy metalish for Bowie.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're going to get an album, Black Star, his last one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 2 songs, Black Star and then Lazarus. His album, his song Ashes to Ashes, the one where he kind of mimes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He took a miming course in college, in art college. And it's funny because his art teacher was Peter Frampton's father.
Really? Are you serious?
I said I could go on for hours with stories like this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's other things about Peter Frampton and Bill Wyman from the Stones. That's a legend, actual that one. But
I told you, Bill has a plethora of knowledge, and he's not a BSer, so I can tell you whatever you hear Bill say.
Yeah, but so Bowie just kind of puffed out a lot. I think he went back to Europe. I don't think he passed away in New York. But he did his video. I think it was Lazarus, and the whole album itself was about dying. He knew his time was limited, and he's in this bed, and they have a cloth over his eyes with 2 buttons on it, and his body rises up, then drops, then turns around almost like vampiric way, up like this, stands, starts walking, turns sideways, backs, opens up this cabinet, walks into it with one hand, just like out of a Dracula movie, closes it right behind him, and that's the end of the song. To have such artistic control till the very end. Freddie Mercury did that.
Right.
He wanted his best. But for Bowie to put all that together and do it that way.
Yeah.
But when people ask me, who do I feel is the epitome of a true artist? I say David Bowie. He's made movies. He played Elephant Man on Broadway.
Right.
He did his own videos, wrote his own music, played saxophone, guitar, piano. just a visionary to no end, and just a very good painter, drawer. Now we all know McCartney paints, John Lennon drew.
Did you ever see the movie that Mick Jagger was in where he played the Gigolo? I can't remember the name of the movie.
Yeah, the man from Elysian Fields is the name of that movie. Or as one of the women that hires him, Elysian Fields, she called it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he actually falls in love with her at the end.
Yeah,
And
he played that. He was a really good actor in there.
He did really well with that one. He did that one with well, he played the cowboy one in Australia in the late '60s. He did that. He played in Free Jack. It was all done in New York City, and Emilio Estevez was in it. It was almost not quite post-apocalyptic, but something serious. He plays the bad guy.
Yeah.
He was like in a tank or something. It was a very interesting movie in the '80s, and he busted his butt to try to get the role of Frankenfurter for the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Ah.
He really, really wanted it, and Lou Adler said, "Nah, he's too big. You can't." People would just say, "Oh, this is Mick Jagger doing it," and he stuck with Tim Curry on that.
Interesting point.
Yeah.
I bet you never saw the movies that I was in, or you've seen the movies, but I bet you never saw the scenes that I was in. And that was Absence of Malice with Paul Newman, I think it was, and
Really?
Body Heat with William
Hurt.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, and Kathleen Turner. I ended up on the cutting room floor. They wouldn't even give me a speaking part.
Really?
But I was like within the rack of guitars over there to Sally Field in Absence of Malice. And Body Heat, it was freezing cold on Miami Beach. And they were spraying the actors down with water to make it look like it was the middle of hot summer. It was so friggin' cold that night. And we got a whopping $35 as an extra for being there like 7 hours or something like that. $35.
In the '80s.
In the 80s, yeah.
Wow.
Now, what does it come out? About 67 cents an hour?
Well, this is a right to work state. There's no unions, so you know.
But it's not about me. Anyway, let's go back to Bill.
No, it's funny you should say that because I've been on TV a couple of times for different things, but one was My Big Redneck Wedding.
Ah.
They actually called another DJ and they said, no, you got to get Bill because I was doing It's Not Your Mother's Wedding at the time.
Ah.
And this was down past Bach Tower, down that way.
That's a drive.
Yeah, toward Lakeland, between Orlando and Tampa, everyone, okay? And this was, don't ever believe a reality TV show. They're so phony, so staged, it's just terrible. And they took all kind of pictures of me and doing this and doing that and DJing and setting up and playing Another One Bites the Dust as they do the processional, to get married, and the parents are sitting on toilet seats and just they really did it to the top. And I told my mother and my father, I go, hey, look, I'm going to be on tonight. My mother hadn't retired. She's a school teacher, and it comes on CMT at 1 a.m., right? My dad's out in Los Angeles, so he got to see it at 10 o'clock, right? My mom's watching, and I said, okay, everybody, we're ready to go. 3 seconds.
That's it. But you had a speaking line.
I got the dirtiest phone call from my mother the next day. You didn't tell me. I didn't know. They took a lot more than that. That's all my face. I got FaceTime,
Right. So did you have to make you a complimentary member of SAG, right? To have a speaking line?
No, not at all, actually. The whole thing was done through Sullivan's. Remember Sullivan's, the country bar? Used to be down off on OBT, right off I-4. And it was a great place to do line dancing and everything else. And they were working with the people that, I don't know if My Big Redneck Wedding at CMT was being operated through Universal Studios here at the time or whatever. But that was the giveaway. You were going to get a free wedding, everything paid for, and it was going to be covered by CMT. And I was paid for my professional services as a disc jockey.
Oh. And now we don't even need extras anymore with the AI. I mean, even with this software here, I can clone your voice and then just make you say anything I want, which is what I intend to do.
Probably. Take an extra 30 pounds off, Get the pearly whites white. That glimmer in the eye. I'm the wrong person to have so early in this broadcast. But it would be a lot of fun to do that because I enjoyed acting. I did a lot of acting in school and in college, and did a couple plays. I always had to get, I like to perform. That was the difference between me as a disc jockey and some of the other guys out there. Is wasn't a Pied Piper. Let's do this. Let's do that. It was more. Really wasn't stand-up comedy. It was more or less an imposition of my personality on the music and the audience. But I like that. It's a fun part of life. It's it sure beats selling vacuum cleaners. I've done that too. So
that sucks.
It's
that was a bad joke. That was a really bad joke.
No, the people that sell cemetery plots have a better one.
What's that?
We keep our customers always looking up.
I remember watching a special once on Rodney Dangerfield, who I absolutely admire, and I didn't know that he used to sell siding for homes. And as he was going to all these homes trying to sell them on whatever kind of siding they did in those days, he always had like one of those big legal yellow pads or anything that he could write on. And he'd have an idea and he'd just write it down. And he had all of his one-liners written on book after book after book.
Interesting. Larry the Cable Guy was like that.
Really?
He wasn't a cable guy.
No.
And he was in Brevard County at the time.
Right.
But he would call in to mix. Okay, and he cracked a joke and they liked him. And every once in a while, I'd say, yeah, this is Larry the Cable Guy calling back. They started letting him in. So they actually called him and said, look, we'll give you a free spot. Can you do this every day?
Is that how he got started?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No. Honest Injun. Kid you not here. Good story. But that's how he got it. And he said, boy, that you really had to keep up on it. You really had to, you're going live. It's not going to be pre-recorded. You really had to be sharp. Jeff Foxworthy's in town. And he's being driven around and he hears Larry the Cable Guy. He goes, call this radio station. Who is this guy? Foxworthy gets to meet him. Then he goes on that redneck tour.
Right, with Bill
Engvall, Ron White.
Yeah.
Right? And this is after Larry the Cable Guy did a couple of his movies already. And they're sitting there, and of course Jeff Foxworthy is the headliner, of course. But Larry the Cable Guy made like $350 million that year, and the other three of them are going, there's Ron White with his cigar and his drink, and you couldn't do that for me. But I met Larry.
Yeah?
He had a place here in Sanford.
Right.
And he went to the little Greasy Spoon, and he was having breakfast, his 2 eggs, whatever. And the poor waitress was having a terrible day, absolutely terrible day. And his meal came out to be like $4. Put a $100 bill into the plate and said, your day's getting better, I promise you. He left. When I do It's Not Your Mother's Wedding, I always wondered every once in a while why this big yellow Hummer would come out. And walk on in, the guys in the studio next to me, different station, but same building, had the Redneck Truck Talk show. These guys are great, because I told them I was on, my Big Redneck Wedding. Oh, that's it, Bill's our next guest. I got to broadcast at the same time, right? But Larry the Cable Guy's there. I'm doing my final show for It's Not Your Mother's Wedding. I already had 3 callers and 1 guest co-host set up for the show. And there's Larry, and Larry comes in and says, hi, I hear you've got a good show. Would you like another co-host? And I'm like, I can't do this. Because I'd already promised people, some of them were small businesses. I'm sure they called all their friends and they're going to listen in and all that. And I'm like, oh, this is just, what do? You either stay true to the people that you committed to already, or do you say, that's it, this is my chance, I can go ahead and get at least 6 months out of these guys, and maybe Larry will fund me for 6 more months, and nobody will ever know. But what he did do is he did start off the show by saying, hey everybody, this is Larry the Cable Guy, you're listening to Bill Parkison, and It's Not Your Mother's Wedding, get her done. my final show for something.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
They did
really
that for
nice.
me, yeah.
Hey, I want to thank you for coming out to not just the venue that I play at, but I know that you go out and support a lot of other local venues as well as local musicians, and I think that's very nice of you to do that.
It's not by choice.
It's not.
No, my daughter and my wife kicked me out of the house.
Oh, that's how that happened.
Yeah, they said give the TV a break already, Bill. Put the phone down.
And I have a feeling you're being dead serious.
Get away from the computer, Bill. Go clean
Hey,
the turtle tank.
speaking of computer, this is fun doing this in person because we tried doing, well, not tried, we actually did do some podcast live stream actually through, what was it?
Lockdown, during the lockdown.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't Zoom, it was Skype. And it was such an unstable platform. And there was enough to drive me and anybody else crazy with the, I can hear you, and the sign language, can you see me? Can you hear me? I'll type a message to you on the phone.
Yeah, we're on the phone with each other, right? What I loved is when you invited me over here to show me what you were doing, and we did something in front of your computers over here, and I wore a green shirt.
Oh yeah, right.
So all you see is my face and my arms. Because we had the green screen behind us.
That's when we did the topic of the aliens and the...
No, we did that via Skype.
Oh, that was via Skype.
If true.
Oh yeah, if true, right,
yeah.
right, if true.
I still have that.
That was a great graphic you put together on that.
Yeah.
So of all the different things that you've been involved with, DJing and all these other facets of the life that you have lived, you're the man of many hats. What was your favorite thing you've ever...
It's Not Your Mother's Wedding.
Yeah?
By far.
Yeah, really.
I was the education director for the Wedding Professionals of Central Florida for 2.5 years. I was also the publisher and printer of the newsletter for 9 years.
Oh, 9 years.
And
that's devotion.
I spent, and I never got a single one of those little glass things. No. People said, "You've got to be kidding me." No.
Did you have a lot of shows, and what period of time did they take place?
I think I started in 2007 and went on for 5 years.
Really? So you had was it weekly?
It was weekly, and it was only 2 hours, and this was the most difficult thing because you don't get many advertisers or sponsors. When, at the time, we were in our second year of Afghanistan at that time. And we had a 2-year lull in the wedding industry.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, the wedding guys were going from this to here, and they're resizing.
Brides wanted to get married, but they had no fiancés.
That's right. And, so it was incredibly difficult. You're going to reach X amount of people on the station. If the wind blows right, I may hit Cocoa Beach from here. And I'm not going to get any farther west than Claremont.
Right.
And the larger networks, they don't hire shows like this.
I was just thinking, while we're having this broadcast, I kind of gave a warning at the beginning that we're going to talk about anything and everything, and I think we have covered that very well. Everything and anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we went from music to DJing to bridal shows to movies.
You could lock me in a closet and you'll hear me having a conversation with someone or something. Communication is actually about my bachelor's degree in communications science. But it's not a hard thing, especially something you love, and music is like that.
That's true.
Things and
Well, Bill, I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you, Parlor, very much.
A pleasure having you on the show here. Well, thank you for tuning into Words and Music, and we will be back again. Have a great day.